Hello and welcome back to Tomcat Stitchery. I'm Whitney and today we are going over some easy blouse patterns that you can sew for spring. Before we get into that though, today's Friday, which means we have a Feature Friday pattern for Love Notion, and that pattern is the Ballad Blouse, which actually it's not on my list here because I was going for like really easy ones, but if you are someone that is going from just a regular you're kind of getting wovens down a little bit, you've got a few projects under your belt and you're ready to try like a button-up placket, this is actually a really good one to do. It's got the option for the shirring at the yoke, or you can just do the gathers, so if the shirring scares you a little bit, it's when you use the elastic thread in the bobbin. You can totally do a version with the gathers, but I've got this top and I love it. I actually wear it all the time. Mine's made in a viscose crepe and I wear it all the time in the warmer months. So it's a lovely little top, and that is $6 today only. And if you spend over $8 at Love Notions, you can use my code SewWhitney for an additional 10% off your price, off everything. Okay. Let's get into today's video. So I've chosen 10 patterns from 10 different pattern companies that are easy ones to sew for spring. I've made, I think, of 7 of the 10. And I also have a few at the end that are maybe a little bit more adventurous beginner, or possibly getting a little bit into the intermediate, a great next step. So if you've gotten a couple of these under your belt a little bit and you're ready to try something just a little bit different, I think these are great next step blouses to do. And the reason that we are talking about blouses today is that Cloth Edit and Sewn on the Tyne over on Instagram are hosting their hashtag SewAprilBlouse26 challenge. They do this every year. It's a lot of fun to participate in. They have a ton of prizes. I'll leave a link to the original Instagram post in the description box. Or you can head over to tomcatstitchery.com/blog for all the links and everything for all the links of the patterns that I'm talking about, as well as a link over to that Instagram post as well, if you would also like to partake. I just think it's a lot of fun, a good excuse to make a blouse. They are describing a blouse as a woven top, but, and I can't remember now if it has sleeves. She talks about the difference between a shirt and a blouse, whereas, not all shirts may be blouses, but blouses can be a shirt. It's just a different, maybe something a little bit more flowy fabric that you're using on a button-up shirt. Anyway, there's all sorts of things. But again, I think that the rules are pretty loose, just a woven top. So that is what we are going through today, and I encourage you to take part as well. I am going to be making a top, and I'll talk about that here at the end and doing a little collaboration, so stay tuned for that. My blouse for Sew April Blouse will be coming up next week. So I'm very excited about the top. And again, I'll be talking about that a little bit more down below. And if you're someone that maybe you've got a couple of woven tops under your belt and you want to take it up to the next step, I have got the perfect digital sewing class for you that you can take on demand, take it as many times as you want, watch modules as many times as you want, and that is my Shirt Making 101 course that is available over on my website, tomcatstitchery.com/shop. But I walk you through all the different elements of making a button-up shirt, so you could definitely turn any button-up shirt pattern into a blouse, just depending on the types of finishes that you're choosing, maybe the different types of fabrics. I still call a shirt a blouse kind of too, so completely up to you. But I've got that class, and just as a reminder, that is over on the website as well. Got a lot of good stuff over on the website. All right, let's get into this. Pattern number 1. Again, I tried to pick, I've done 10 different pattern companies, so I tried to keep it as just one pattern per pattern company. But go check out all of 10 of these pattern companies because there are so many options that you could choose from. But the first one I've gone with the Love Notions Muse. This is one of the newest. In fact, it is the newest. Is it the newest? It is. It is the newest pattern to the catalog, to the Love Notions catalog. This is a very, it's for an adventurous beginner or a confident beginner, I think that they say. But it's a very easy, depending on which view you're making. As with most Love Notions patterns, there's tons of different sleeve options, there's different body options, all sorts of stuff, but it's pretty easy finish. It does have a collar band that gets finished at the top, which is probably the most, the trickiest part of the Muse, but for the most part, it's a woven t-shirt. I made this for the release, and I chose a really beautiful fabric for it to really highlight the fabric. because it's a nice simple lines on this view of the shirt that I made, but there's a peplum view. There's quite a few different views of this top, and I think you could make it just as easily, well, I know you could, and a beautiful rayon as you would in something with more body like a cotton lawn. Mine is kind of a cotton batiste. In fact, I had to interline the body of it because it's also an eyelet that I used. But wonderful pattern and absolutely fantastic for spring. Again, a few different sleeve options. So if you prefer a longer sleeve, there's actually that in the pattern as well. And don't forget, with Love Notions patterns, you use my code SOWHITNEY, you do get 10% off anything, any orders over $8. So yeah, something to keep in mind. Okay, pattern number 2, the Seamwork Romy. Now, Romy, it's probably Romy, Seamwork Romy. Jenny made this back in December for her, was out of some quilting cotton. And Jenny is probably a confident beginner. She's progressing probably into the more of the intermediate realm of sewing. But she made this pattern, said it was very simple, you're adding a little bit of a collar detail. It's got a really cute little puff sleeve. Again, a very easy pattern to make. Whether you're a beginner and someone that is trying to up your skills with maybe each project that you're doing, or you're someone that's been sewing forever and ever, and you just maybe want a top that showcases a really beautiful fabric maybe. And it could be a solid fabric, maybe a beautiful linen that you just really want to showcase the fabric and with some simpler style lines. I think that these type of patterns work really, really well for that. So absolutely. I would love to try this pattern as well. Jenny fits the Seamwork block really easily with very minimal pattern adjustments. I have to do just a couple bit more because they do draft for a taller body, but all in all, it's a really, really cute top. I was eyeing it when she made it up. Okay, number 3. Sorry, I've got them all listed down here. If you see me looking down, I don't want to miss anything. But number 3 is the Pattern Emporium Sweet Talker bubble sleeve top. This is so easy. I made mine and I embroidered the sleeves on mine, which I do. I honestly get stopped every single time I wear this. Someone will comment, "Oh my gosh, I absolutely love your top," which is lovely because I did create this based on a ready-to-wear top that I saw and really, really loved. But the pattern itself, and that took forever. Embroidering the sleeve fabric took forever, but it wasn't hard, just took forever. But the making of the top was super easy. There's actually a sleeve stay that happens. It's like a lined sleeve almost on the inside to give it that puff feeling. So I don't think there's elastic in it. Now I'm trying to remember. I just wore this top the other day. I don't think there's elastic in it. It's that sleeve stay that does all of the heavy lifting for that puff there in the sleeve. And it's just basically a woven shell, bodice on that. No neck closings on the neck at all. Very simple in terms of a great beginner project. So if you did use, if you are someone that's new to sewing, it'd be a great thing to try, but also because there's minimal seam lines, this would be great for a larger scale print, or maybe something that's really like you want the print to really speak. Actually, as I'm talking about this, I have a fabric in mind that I think would be really beautiful. I don't know if I have enough. It was one of those fabrics that I bought, and I bought everything that they had, and it wasn't a ton. Yeah. I've been feeling like I need to get into my stash and shop my stash a little bit more here recently, so we'll see. All right, number 4, the Closet Cord Cielo. This is a wonderful pattern for beginners. It has 2 different bust fronts. So Closet Cord normally drafts for a B cup, but in this pattern, they have a separate front for a C cup and also one for a D cup. So, and it's not just for the top, it's also for the dress. So there's 2 versions. I feel like there may be a couple of different hem options too with the dress, if I'm thinking correctly. I have made this a ton of times, and my most worn is my white linen that has like the window pane linen on the back, and then I've got the solid linen for the front of the Cielo. I wear that all the time. And then probably my second most worn is the orange linen top that yes, but I've made the dress a couple of times. I've made the lantern sleeve once. I've made quite a few of just the short sleeved little tops. It's a lovely, in fact, I went kind of into a hyperfixation of it during COVID, during all of that was happening, the lockdown. Anyway, it's a fantastic pattern, great for beginners. They've got excellent instructions, and yeah, it's a good one. So absolutely would have a look at that. And another good one, I've made it in linen, except for my lantern sleeve one, I did in like this kind of crocheted lace type fabric that was really kind of cool. I don't wear it as much, but I think all my other versions, dresses included, have all been linen. But yeah, it's a really great pattern to showcase some bolder prints as well. And some, there's a back shoulder yoke on the back that could be kind of cool with contrast fabric. Okay, number 5, the Kashmir Montrose. Now the Kashmir Montrose is part of their collection patterns, meaning you can buy this at any time. Maybe you already have it in your catalog. Just a really great woven t-shirt pattern. I have made it in kind of a little bit more of a bold fabric, and this was a remnant that I'm showing you actually that I got maybe from Blackbird Fabrics, but I bought a remnant, so I just bought what was left, and I was able to eke this shirt out of it, and I love to wear this. It just feels like a more polished version of a t-shirt, something that feels just a little bit more dressed up. And if you're part of their all access club, of which I am, I speak about it a lot, there's quite a few different bases that work with the Montrose. So different sleeves that you can pop onto the Montrose body and different necklines and the club that can go on the Montrose. Just a whole bunch. It makes it a very versatile pattern if you in fact are a all access club member of theirs as well. But again, the Montrose itself, you can just get with their regular collection. Okay, number 6, this is one that I have not made, but I wanted to put Sinclair patterns on here. I think they do really great drafting. So this is the Sinclair Fiona. I think one of their new-ish patterns. Just got a lot of cute little variations, cute little details. It does have the little buttons on the front. I'm trying to remember. I think it also said maybe a confident beginner or adventurous beginner for this as well. Now, what I love about Sinclair patterns is, number 1, they do have cup size options in their patterns. I think all the way, they have like maybe a C, oh, I'm going to say it wrong, maybe an AB, then a CD, and an EF cups for their patterns. But another thing that is really great that Sinclair does, and they're the only ones that I think I know of that do this, is they do a petite file, a regular file, and a tall file. So if you are someone that is a little bit more smaller, and they've got guidelines on which ones that you should select, you can pick that. So as someone who is petite in my upper body, I mean, I'm short everywhere. I'm only 5'2", but I don't do petites in my bottoms because I'm longer in the lower half of my body, but I'm definitely petite in the upper part of my body. It's not just a matter of shortening the pattern. They have taken all the different increments up. So it's shorter from shoulder to bust. It's shorter, like through the waist, and vice versa. If you're using the tall file, same. Everything's a little bit taller in a few different places to really help with the fit there. So fantastic pattern company. I just haven't made this specific one, but it is one that I am tempted to try. And again, if you're someone that likes cup sizes, they've got that option. And also they've got, if you're someone that is smaller or taller, they also have that petite and tall files as well. And that's included with the pattern. You get access to all of those. So pretty cool. Number 7, I have also not made this one. Now we're kind of getting into these last 4 are a little bit more, I would take out of it a bit beginner and kind of moving a little bit more into intermediate. So if you got, don't let it pigeonhole you, go ahead and try them. All of these pattern companies have got really great instructions, and some of them even have sew-alongs with their patterns. So it's a fantastic time to maybe try something that's a little bit outside of your comfort zone. But these last 4, I would say, have a little bit more detail of sewing, just not complicated, but just extra skills that would be great to add to your sewing toolbox. But this next one is the Friday Pattern Company Donnie shirt. I run a pattern fitting class twice a year, and I've had quite a few students that have gone through that, because we fit whatever pattern company you want to fit onto your body, and quite a few people that have gone through with Friday pattern companies. And so I've seen this Donnie shirt made up on quite a few different types of bodies. It's really lovely. And it kind of gives you the button-up shirt aesthetic without it actually being a button-up shirt. So if you're someone that wants to kind of dip your toe in a collared shirt, but you're not ready to go all the way, absolutely a perfect one to choose. Number 8 is the Itch to Stitch Majorel. This is a dress and a top pattern. I have made both versions. I love this one because if you are wanting to step a little bit more into the collared shirt, button-up shirt realm, but again, just want to take baby steps, this is the perfect shirt. Number 1, it features raglan sleeves, so it's super easy to get a good fit like through the shoulder area with those raglan sleeves. It doesn't have sleeve plackets, so you're dealing with elastic at the waist or at the arm, which makes it much easier in my opinion, but you've added a button placket down the front and you're adding a little stand-up collar. So there's an option for the ruffle on the stand-up collar or just leaving it as is. So there's a few different options there that I think again, as a baby step into making maybe a button-up shirt. Itch to Stitch also does cup sizes from an A cup all the way up to a double D cup, which I love about Itch to Stitch patterns. And again, her drafting and instructions are par. I mean, just top of the line. So very easy to follow along if you're someone that is new to some of those techniques but wants to give it a try. Number 9, the Chalk and Notch Ren. Okay, I have made both the dress version of this and the shirt version, and I can only find the picture of the dress version, which is not lit well. I've come a long way with my photography. But I have a shirt too. It's a red, and it's been on the channel in capsule guides before, because it is a red rayon that has little white hearts all over it. My birthday's the day after Valentine's Day, so I really lean into the heart thing when it gets around the time of my birthday. And I wear this shirt every year, and I have no idea why I don't have any pictures of it. I need to take some. Anyway, this is another wonderful one that features a button up. She also has multiple cup size fronts. So if you're someone that likes those cup sizes, it's perfect. And she finishes off the sleeve techniques a little bit different. So it's not your traditional sleeve placket, but it's easier. So again, just a great way to kind of dip your toe into some shirt making maybe. But again, with that button up placket, makes it really lovely. And there's a couple of different sleeve versions that also come with this pattern. And then the dress is basically the same as the top. You just are adding a ruffle, so it makes kind of a drop waist dress, which I find it very flattering on my body shape because I have a very short torso. Excuse me, short torso with I've got a very high waist, and it gives the illusion that I've got a normal length torso. I'm all about illusions. All right, and for the 10th pattern I wanted to talk about, this is the one that I am going to be making up for the hashtag SewAprilBlouse26 challenge, and that is the Mason Fav Tilda. Now, this pattern has a free version that is just a very stripped down version of it, or a paid pattern that I think has 5 different collar views. So the same shirt, but you can add collars to it. I have downloaded the free pattern, and that is what I'm going to be making with the shorter sleeve for my Sew April blouse. I'm very excited about it, those little pin tucks. That is what makes this shirt a little bit more intermediate, is those pin tucks that are in the front and that are there along the sleeve. A pin tuck is not hard, the little pleat, not hard at all to do. But it is maybe a step that you've not done before or something that you've just not tried before. So just, give it a go. Give it a go. I just think it's such a sweet little top, and I've not decided actually on the fabric I'm going to use for it yet. But again, it's a free pattern. If you do just the regular plain old Tilda, Mason Fav is a French company, but they've got instructions in English as well. And you can read the website either in French or in English. You just need to switch the toggle up there at the top of the website. But I am very intrigued by quite a few of their patterns. Just the French aesthetic is something that appeals to me. And yeah, I'm excited to give this a go and see if I might like to try some more of their stuff, which is a great way to try a new pattern company, any free patterns that they might have, just to see if you like the instructions, if you like the drafting and that sort of thing. It's a great way to try out a new to you pattern company. All right, there you have it. Those are my 10 easy to sew blouses for spring. Great for bold fabric, great for just some maybe more basics if you're needing more basics in your wardrobe. This is a wonderful time. All the rejuvenation of spring if you're here in the Northern Hemisphere, and really looking forward to things beginning to grow and bloom and stuff in our area other than the allergies that causes. It's just one of my favorite times to sew as well, as is the fall. I love the major switching in seasons, and I'm very much looking forward to doing some sewing as we go into the warmer months here. All right, that is all I have for today. I hope you will give some of those a try. Get some sewing in this week, and until next time, happy sewing.